Sprinting down the side of a skyscraper or jumping out of cargo planes requires extreme. Maintaining that kind of agility and impact resistance past the age of 50 requires zero margin for error in how you fuel and recover. It is easy to assume this level of physical output comes from lucky genetics. The reality is that it is the result of a highly specific, repeatable daily framework. To build this baseline for yourself, you have to master two pillars: prepping a daily anti-inflammatory grazing cooler and executing a 7-day functional fitness routine. Start by gathering the necessary physical tools. You need an insulated cooler bag, a reliable oven thermometer, and a set of portion control containers. Next, secure your grocery staples. Your weekly inputs rely heavily on lean proteins, dark leafy greens, raw nuts, and low-starch vegetables. When you replace a heavy, standard diet with these precise inputs, you stop fighting your own digestion. The body shifts out in a sluggish, inflamed state and operates as a highly responsive, agile physical machine. First, purge your pantry of dietary saboteurs. Completely remove refined sugars, simple starches like high glycemic breads, and heavily processed fried foods. This chart shows exactly why you must cut simple starches. On the left, simple starches trigger volatile, sharp insulin spikes that quickly crash. On the right, replacing starches with vegetables leaves your insulin flatlined and energy consistent. For sweet cravings, drop the candy and energy gels entirely. Your high-performance alternatives are a handful of fresh blueberries or a single square of dark chocolate. Every protein and vegetable on this protocol is cooked using the low and slow method. You must set a strict temperature limit and keep your oven below 150 degrees Celsius, or about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's compare these two pieces of chicken to understand why that temperature limit matters. The blackened meat on the right has a hard char that destroys vital amino acids and triggers cellular inflammation. The slow roasted meat on the left keeps those nutrients intact. Use this visual guide for your portions. To prioritize agility over bulk, your maximum serving of protein per meal should be exactly the size of a standard deck of playing cards. Cooking at a strictly controlled temperature and capping your portion sizes eliminates the internal inflammation that naturally destroys reflexes and flexibility as you age. With your food prepped, pack your 16-hour grazing cooler. We are completely abandoning the traditional 3 large meals a day structure in favor of 6 distinct micromeals. Your morning fuel sequence starts at 7 a.m. with egg whites and almonds. A few hours later, your second meal is a serving of salmon jerky and blueberries. The midday sequence requires chilled broccoli spritzed with olive oil, a clean whey isolate shake, and raw mixed nuts to stabilize your blood sugar. To finish the day's protein tally, the evening sequence utilizes bite-sized chicken cubes, followed by low-temperature roasted vegetables spooned over whitefish. Processing heavy meals requires massive amounts of blood flow, which drains your physical and mental focus. These frequent, tiny inputs bypass that heavy digestion cycle entirely. Swapping out massive portions for this nutrient-dense grazing pattern allows you to maintain relentless, flat-lined energy through a 16-hour workday. Your physical routine begins with a strict 5:30 a.m. morning reset flow. Spend 1 full minute on gratitude, take a 5-minute wake-up walk, and perform 15 minutes of dynamic mobility work. The final step of the morning reset is a 10-second face dunk in near-freezing water. This rapidly tightens your capillaries and shocks the nervous system into a high-alert, low-stress gear. This calendar displays your 7-day functional workout split: chest and shoulders, back and biceps, high-intensity intervals, finishing with legs and core. During these strength circuits, you must rest exactly 30 seconds between sets. This narrow recovery window builds functional stamina rather than heavy bodybuilding mass. Your remaining days are designated for high activity and active rest. Skip the static gym machines and focus on real-world movements like intervals in a sea kayak, fencing footwork, or running barefoot on the beach. Combining extreme rest limits in the weight room with unpredictable physical activities outside trains your nervous system for real-world agility. It keeps your physical frame athletic and entirely capable. At this stage, you possess a fully packed anti-inflammatory grazing cooler and a mapped-out high-performance training schedule. There is one final, non-negotiable rule to implement. All calorie intake must come to an absolute halt by 8 p.m. This initiates a strict 11-hour overnight fasting window. Your body needs these hours of deep rest to clear out cellular waste and fully recover from the physical stress of your training. True action-ready stamina doesn't come from a few brutal marathon gym sessions. It is the result of executing these unglamorous daily habits with absolute consistency. Click the link in the description to download the 8-Minute Fitness at 50 Plus guide and get the complete actionable breakdown of this routine today.